Welcome all to another Zenstream. So today what we're talking about is getting more leads, or get more leads and sales. So I've got a bit of a presentation to show you, and I'm going to be releasing a link to a funnel where I actually take you through all the slides so you can actually see how we do it here at Zenler. So it'll give you, so if you've got any questions like, oh, you know, can you show me how that's done? Don't worry about it. We're going to talk through these slides. I'm going to give you a link where you can go and you can just register up, and you'll go through a funnel series of videos that show you. We're using Zenler to do this, but guys, you know, if you've got using any other platform, if anyone's watching it and they're not a member with Zenler, maybe you've got another platform or something, all of these tips that we're going to tell you, I'm going to tell you 20 tips. 20 tips on how to just get more sales and leads. So first of all, let's start off with people that are already selling their courses and leads. Okay, so this is going to be benefit to you as well, because you can get more. You know, you can get more leads, you can get more sales if you're doing it right. And we're just talking about SEO techniques and what you can do to basically, what marketing is shouting about your product or course or whatever you're selling. You're just shouting about it, you're just getting it out there. And of course we use the online media to do that. So also, like, connection with people, you know, you might tell someone about a course, they tell someone else, or someone's taking your course and they tell someone, and always they are the best kind of ways. The referrals are always the better way of getting people straight into converting them. But obviously, you know, if you want to reach the millions, you want to reach the masses that are out there that don't know about you. And this is where making sure that certain things are done or that you're doing is going to help you to actually do this. So that's what we're talking about today. So automatically, by doing these things in these 20 steps, you're going to generate more visibility, and more visibility equals more people clicking on your site. More people clicking on your site means more leads, and more leads means more conversion to sales. So it's as simple as that. And that's what we need to deal with. We need to get people to know about you, and that means social media. Yeah. So we're using social media, we're using things like podcasts, you know, you're attending other people's stuff, you're doing the guest blog posts. All these things are going to help to get you more visible. And under the knock-on effect of that, it actually claims you to be more of an authority on what you're talking about. So we're going to cover these slides. I've got a Canva, the good old Canva template to show you, to run through and show you how you can generate. So if you've got any questions, definitely put them in the chat. Runtime on this is about an hour, roughly an hour, to go through these slides, and then I will give you a link to the funnel where you can watch videos. You can watch 20 videos on each step. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do all 20 of these. I'm just saying that if you do any of them, it's going to help you. There's certain ones that I'm going to flash up along the way that you should definitely make sure that you're doing. Because if you're not, it's just wrong. Okay, if you're not doing these, it's just wrong. There's no other way of putting it. You've got to make sure that you're doing some of these things that I'm telling you about, because if you haven't done it with your site, and I guarantee a few of you will not be doing this with your site, so you need to make sure that you're doing these things, because they are just, you have to do them. You just have to. And I know people that are not doing these things. It's kind of like, what's the mystery of these things? It's all right. It's okay. It's all okay. And like I said, I'm going to give you the link to the video so you'll know. So I've got my little guide sheet ready. So I'm going to do my old famous screen grab. You can ask questions in the chat. This is 3 o'clock. I ran a Zen fast track yesterday at 3 o'clock. Didn't get many people in. Only got 2 people, which I wasn't happy about. So maybe 3 o'clock is a bad time, but it is Saturday. You do have the day off. And if you want to make more sales, you want your business successful, you've got to make sure that you're putting the work in. It's not going to come to you like this. It's not going to fall into your wallet or into your bank account unless you're doing something about it. And it's the one thing we say is consistency and turning up and learning these things. And if you don't, you can't turn around later and say, oh, I tried that and it didn't work for me, which is a common line that people use when they failed at things. It's because they haven't put the work in or the time. And the onus is on you. We can't do it all for you. We wish we could, but we can't do it all for you. We're all managing our own businesses. We're all trying to teach, at Zenler here, we're trying to teach thousands of people how to use the platform and give them advice like this. And obviously we can't handhold every single person and take them right through. It's impossible. So we have to say, please do the work. It's not that hard. Put an hour in. Everyone's got half an hour of a day to put into this. Get up earlier, do it. Make the effort, and then the rewards will follow. Don't be one of these 5% of people that just failed because they didn't put 5%, 95% of people failed because they didn't actually put the work in. Don't be that person, okay? You can do this, but you just need to persevere with it. So let me jump to, all right, so I'm preaching to you, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's so true. It's so many times we get this where people are having problems. It's like, have you done this? Have you done this? No, 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 no. We're like, do it. Do it. So we're going to do the old slide here. So it got me in the corner. Might turn me off in a minute. So here we go. So we've got better ranking 20 tips. Now, better ranking leads to better visibility. Better visibility leads to more leads, leads to more sales. Simple as that. So better 20 tips for SEO, quick wins and proven results and easy to implement. All of these are pretty common. These are, I haven't gone outside the box too much. I've just given you the 20 main things that you should be doing. And if you do one of them, even one of them, it's going to help you. Some I will hit a little bit harder by saying, do this. Make sure you do this. So let's just jump straight into this now and click up our first slide. So the first one is researching the keywords. So if you don't know about keywords, if you set up a page on your site, doesn't matter which page it is, doesn't matter if it's a blog, doesn't matter if it's a landing page, doesn't matter if it's a site page, you need to research the keywords. So Google Suggest or Keyword Planner is a good place to find the keywords. This will give you an amount of people that are using those words or that keyword phrase, a phrase more than one word. Then it will give you how many people are typing that into Google. Okay, it's as simple as that. So it tells you how popular it is. So this is a double-edged sword because people go, oh, okay, I'm going to go for the most popular keyword and then I've got the maximum results. So I've got 2 million people looking at the word entrepreneur, so I'm going to put that in there and that's the one I'm going to target. That's a problem, because you've got people and big companies that have got thousands and thousands of visitors, and Google's going to put it right at the top of the search engines because it's got all these backlinks coming into it. It's got thousands of people coming into the site. They've been there for a few years, so they've got the authority. You've come along as a newbie, put entrepreneur and expect to get #1 results. Not going to happen. You need to build these things up. So what you can do is you can use what's called long tail keywords. So that's more than one word. So we could use something like entrepreneurs united in course creation. Now, there will be people that put that in the search engine. There won't be as many, but you're more likely to get higher in the search engines because you've tailed it off. It's like the lottery, like picking one ball out the lottery is really hard. But is it like that? No, it's not like that at all. No, I've completely got that wrong, because actually picking more than one ball out is less people win if more balls are picked out. So that's the kind of analogy. So also the same features are included in things like Wikipedia, and you can even use Facebook ads. And this is something people don't know, is like with Facebook ads, you think, oh, I'm doing a Facebook ad, I've got to pay for it. Yes, you have. if you run the ad, but you can set up the ad and you can find out how many people are interested on Facebook in that particular subject when you cut it down. So you can find out their keywords and all these things and find out the actual quantity of people on that sort of thing. And Facebook will look at groups, it will look at the people in groups, it will look at associated people in those fields, and it will give you a number. So it's a very good way, especially if you're using Facebook. You definitely don't, it's like things like the Instagram boost the post and all these things. If you can, you should always be targeting, because you know your niche. And I'm not talking about setting up an avatar or a persona or any of these things. Like you know, if you come into this and you've done all that work, you're already going to know your target audience. I know my target audience is between 25 and 45 for 3D and animation work, and I also know the countries where it's going to hit. But I know that because I've researched it at the beginning, and I've got a lot of people in there, and I know where they're all from. So I got that through actual data, and data is king, as we know. But you can use Wikipedia, you can use Facebook ads, also, like I said, the Google Suggest or Keyword Planner, and you can even use YouTube. In fact, most search engines. Okay, so Kevin did a SEO bootcamp, and he featured another site. I can't remember. There's so many sites that you can go into, and you can type in. You can sign up for, or you can use for free, and it gives you a list of all the keywords and things similar to this, but this is free. Okay, and you can do it quickly, so it's quite good for you to go through. So research your keywords, really important, even for your social media posts. So when I say this term, I'm not just saying for your site, I'm saying for anything you're doing. Even if you're doing a blog post for another site, your guest blogging on another site, you should still be trying to hit those keywords. Everything you do should be researching the keywords, but don't let the keywords take over the copy. Okay, so they shouldn't be, you shouldn't force those words in there to make sure that they're, you know, oh, I'm going to put it there, I'm going to put it there, I'm going to put it there, but in context it doesn't sound good. This is something again that Kevin mentions, like whenever you write any copy, and this is pretty obvious, you should be writing it should be genuine original copy that you've written. You know, we can use Chat GPT to generate copy for us, but you need to go through it and make it your own. But you should be looking at making it contextually correct, because otherwise, like if it's just forced full of keywords, people are not going to be interested. You know, it's not going to go nicely. It's not going to run nicely. So research your keywords, really big one. So let's move on to use key phrase or word. So whenever you've picked a key phrase or a word, just make sure that in the URL that you set up, that's the little one along the top, like zenler.com/conference or something like that, it would be conference. You know, you make sure that URL is, you make sure that phrase or that word is in the URL, okay? And it's also in the heading, and it's also in the first paragraph at least 2 to 3 times, okay? Just make sure that it's in there. That will be picked up as by the search engine saying this is definitely what this page is talking about, okay? So also try and do that for socials. Try and do that across the board. So tip number 2. So again, that was related to that. So another one, on your site, on your Zenler site, make sure that you haven't got any extra pages. We all set up extra pages to test, and sometimes we publish them. If you have got any extra pages that you're not using, either unpublish them on Zenler or delete them out, okay? We don't want extra pages going into our sitemap and being indexed when they're not finished, all right? So make sure that you do that. Delete extra pages out. Keep your site clean. Unused pages, delete them. Unpublished pages that are not used, if you're using Zenler, check your sitemap has not included these extra pages. Again, I'm going to be sharing the link to the funnel where I actually show you going through that using Zenler. So that was number 3. Let's go on to number 4. So expert study articles. So these can get you a ton of backlinks and can put you in as an authority. You will get higher ranking in the search results if you're doing these. So if you're an expert in your field and you gather a lot of data and you do like an article that's like an expert article or a study case, this is a really powerful thing, because two things is, once you've done it and you've put it out there, you might then want to go to different websites and say, look, I've done this study case, do you want to put it in your website? I'm allowing you to just put a backlink to my website. And that's how it works. But not only that, expert study articles actually put you in as an authority on the subject that you're teaching. And Google really likes this stuff if it's well written. Okay, so there's a chance that you'll be higher up in the search engine, especially if you've got a lot of backlinks coming in. So that's people using you and backlinking into your site to this article, or if they've taken your article because you've let them and they put a link in there back to your site as well. Again, it's all good, it's all plus. So expert study articles are really, really good. Number 4, let's move on to number 5 now. So using related keywords. So related keywords are things relating to your main subject. So if I was teaching, for instance, let's just say ZBrush, which is a digital sculpting tool. So if I was to use related keywords to that, I could say organic modeling, I could say CAD design or AutoCAD, I could say architectural 3D designs. You know, these are all related off of the subject, which is ZBrush courses. Yeah, so this is how you can use it. So make sure that these are in your content as well. Again, all the content, like I said, blogs, landing pages, site pages, all this stuff. So this is a really important one to just make sure of. So also, like, keep track of Google algorithm updates as well. This is a little bit random as I put it in use related keywords, but sometimes Google changes their algorithms, and you can just Google it, funny enough, Google algorithms, any changes, updates, and you'll get a ton of articles come up telling you the latest things that you should do, like how many related keywords you should put in there. All these sort of things come up. So make sure you have your related words are in the context of it. So if I was in context, out of context would be something, you know, that's just doesn't make sense, but in context it would work. So ZBrush can be used for organic modeling. ZBrush can be used for creating assets in architectural design. So you see how that fits in. It's still related keywords, but it's using the word ZBrush, so the main subject line. Okay, so that's how it works. So you make sure it's related to copy. This goes back to the first part when I was saying that genuine copy, and don't force those words in there to make it sound really salesy and spammy, which is what a lot of people do. So that was number 5, related keywords. So massive one, massive here. Devices and compatibility. So always do a little bit of a speed test on your site. Make sure you haven't got oversized images or too many videos on a page or any of this stuff. So make sure your site is coming up really quickly. Make sure it works across devices. So make sure it works on a phone. Okay. Make sure it works on a tablet. You know, make sure it works on the tablet, the phone, on your desktop. Make sure it all is lovely. Optimize all your site content and media, which is what I was saying. Don't use oversized images. Don't use too many videos in a page, you know, because it'll take a long time to load. These are things that you just need to do. This is a priority. Definitely check that your website is looking good. Your Zenler site is looking good in mobiles. And if it's not, fix it. Okay, we've got videos on how responsive behavior works onside the Zenler platform. So it's all in there for you. So you've got no excuses. You can make sure that your site looks great on a mobile device. And remember, more and more people are using mobiles now. So it's really, really important. Let's move on to tip number 7. Media is king. So make sure you're using images. So when you create an article, a lot of people, it depends on what it is. I mean, if it's a scientific paper, then generally they have little charts and things in there, but they don't really have a lot of image based, and it's right for that. But mostly you'll be using some images, or you should be, because it's a bit boring. If you haven't got images in there, it doesn't keep people's attention. Images are a really good way to break the page up, make it easier to read. That's always going to help you. If you are using any images in your site, and double check this again, you can watch the funnel videos when I give you the URL at the end. Then make sure you put alt tags on the images. These are ways of describing what the image is about, and it's a key chance for you to use those keywords and those related keywords. So you should definitely be using those on the alt tag images inside your site. So use embedded videos and podcasts. Now this is a really good thing because this is a double bite of the cherry. Now, as we know, a standard blog is good, but it's nowhere near as high converting as a vlog. Okay, so a video in there or audio in there. So you want to be putting, if you can, you want to be putting videos into your blogs or into any of the pages. And this does a few things. This actually makes it more engaging. People sometimes prefer to watch videos or listen to audio. Okay, the other thing is you get a double hit. So you're going to get people watching it. So your YouTube channel is going to show that as a view. Okay. Also, your podcast channel is going to show that as a listen to as well. So another view. So plays on those are really good. So you've got a double hit there. You've also got a hit from YouTube itself, where you can actually link back to the article and cause this crossover. And you can do that with podcasts as well. So anything you're putting in there where you can double link back and forwards, that's what you want to be doing, because you want outlinks and inlinks. That's what you're trying to create. Imagine a spider's web. We're trying to link it all up so that there's many more places for them to get into the middle, to get to your site, to get to your CTA, to get to your sale, to get to your lead or your funnel. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build connections here. And the more connections you have, the greater chance you've got of creating a lead or a sale. It's fact. Okay, so make sure you have live text to tell your story. Okay, so this is a big one. So media is important, but please do not have a great big header or something like this slide. I wouldn't take this slide and put it straight into my site. I could, and it would look great. The problem with it is it's not live text. So although I could put an alt tag on it, to put an alt tag with all this information on is a bit much. And also Google will look at it and it much prefers live text. So that is text that's actually in there. So I would actually break the background up, break the ranking 20 tips and the mobile image, and the rest I would do as live text in a page so that search engines could pick up on it. Also, when you resize it, it's not going to become invisible when it's reduced right down to the size of a mobile, because the live text will keep its ratio. So be careful of that with live text. So make sure you're using live text to tell the story. Okay, so that's a really big one. Media is king. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8, keep your content fresh. So this goes without saying. If you've got an old article that's gathering dust, it's just going to fall off the search engine results. So what you want to be doing is you want to be keeping your content. If anything changes, you want to be keeping it fresh and updating it. Maybe on a lot of your pages you've got CTAs at the bottom going through to funnels or to a course. You know, if that changes, update it, put it in there, submit it to Google as a page content has changed, and or they'll re-index it as changed content, and it's going to help you. Okay, so don't let your content gather dust. Keep the content fresh. Also, using bullets and short paragraphs makes things easier to read. We're going to look at that later, but that's a really important one as well, that you'll notice you're going to get better results if you're not using one whole paragraph of text that's about that long. You know, you want to be using short little paragraphs of text to make it really easy for people to read. And of course, bullet points are really easy for people to read. So we're looking at that as well. Let's move on to number 9. Google Analytics. Analytics, this is a must do. You have to do this. If you haven't put Google Analytics on your website yet, do it now. Do it today. Make sure you're on Google Analytics. It's easy to set up an account and adds track code. Register your sitemap. It's normally an XML file, and it is on most sites, including Zenler. Okay. So again, in the funnel, I show you exactly how to do that with our Zenler site. Okay. So make sure you've got Google Analytics. Analytics will track people visits to pages, where people have come from, gives you a ton of data that you need, and it's so simple to put into your site. Google Analytics is a must. Do this. Okay, number 10, Google Search Console. So a little bit like analytics, Google Search Console is a way for you again to gain metrics and to see data and run reports on words that have been used to find your site or pages, and also allow you, and this is what I use it a lot for, is to submit new URLs. So if my data's changed in my website, I submit a URL using Google Search Console. Again, I show you how to do this. So make sure you have the Search Console installed. Make sure that you do Google Analytics before you do the Search Console, because the Search Console will check the Google Analytic code is included in your site, and then it will set it up like that. Okay, otherwise you've got to run through hoops a little bit. So do a performance report on your site. So you can just check your site, the performance. It's good. You're going to submit your sitemap, and you're going to see if any pages got broken links or any of those things. It should show on your search result and also on analytics as well. So you can also see what keyword searches were used for your page, which I was saying. So Google Search Console is another you have to do. So 9 and 10 of these you have to do. Okay, so let's move forwards. I haven't got anyone viewing at the moment, so it is a very quiet time, 3 o'clock. Okay. So 11, sister or shoulder niches. So build content around related niches. So especially good if it's a boring niche subject. So sorry guys, if some of you are teaching, some of you might be teaching a very boring subject. It's just the fact. So you can use other shoulder niches to make it a bit more exciting. And it also gives you a powerful and rich area of new media. So what would a shoulder niche be? So a shoulder niche could be like you're showing people how to clean your house. Okay, so how to clean a house. So a shoulder niche of that might be how to jet wash your patio. It's not actually in the house, but it's like a shoulder of that. So it's a side thing of that. So there's lots of it. It's like for me, for instance, I'm going to go back to ZBrush because that's where I'm familiar. That's where I'm at home. ZBrush, for instance, we got other packages such as Maya, which is a 3D modeling program. We got things like Substance Painter, even to the point we got video software that we use like Nuke and things like that, or After Effects or Final Cut Pro. These are all shoulder niches off the side of the main program or the main courses that I'm teaching, and I can easily write blog posts about all of these subjects, and they're all shoulder niches from this. And I would tie them in to my ZBrush course saying, look, produce the assets in ZBrush, come across the Substance Painter and then paint it in there. So it links really, really nicely. So this is a shoulder niche off the side. So if you can think like that, what is your subject? What is related to my subject? Almost like related keywords. What is related to it? Can I build content around that? It can give you a ton more media to look at and to put in. Okay, so 11, shoulder or sister niches. Really, really important one, that one. Especially if you're stuck for ideas. So 12, brand and backlink media. So brand all your bespoke media, like infographics that you're using. Make sure your brand's on everything, in the corner, on me, Zenler down the arm, it's all there. You can see brand it all. Make sure that people know to link back to you. So if you've done a really nice bit of infographics, you might have people using it. So there is a way of searching to see if people have used your infographic, but it's not a fail-safe way, because if people have actually edited it or they've changed the file name or the size, then the data inside, it might not find it. So, but for people that are using it or have asked to use it, you want to just say to them, can you put a link back to you? Or make sure in your infographics that you have your website link on there so people know. It doesn't have to be the link. It could be your logo, So people are like, what's that? It's on this site, but it says Zenler. And then they'll Google it and then they'll find you. So brand and backlinks to media is really important. So use Google to find people that are using your graphics as well. Again, got videos on this. So make sure everything's branded, including videos, including infographics, everything that you do. Okay, so if you've got a picture, a profile picture of someone, you don't really want to brand that if it's just in your website. Anything outside your website where people might grab it is where you want to make sure you've got your branding or your watermarking in there. Okay, so number 13, your special key phrase. So come up with a special term or phrase. So a lot of people do this. They have a word. I can't think of any off the bottom. Well, let's just say Zenstream. Okay, it could be our one. Hashtag Zenstream. Okay, that's its own thing. Make sure, of course, that it's a phrase. So if people use that phrase like Zenstream, then no one else is using it because it's your special phrase that you've put together, like leadership impact or something like that. I'm sure that's used. But then if people use that phrase, you're going to get that page 1 listing. Like if you put Zenstream into Google now, I reckon that we get a number 1 listing on that. I'm not sure, but I think we would on that word. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to test this and see if that's the case. No. Probably haven't used it enough. Okay, well, we could just use Zenler then. So if we just use Zenler, there you can see we get that page 1 listing in there. So if you've got a phrase that you use, then if you've got that as a hashtag or something, then it's going to be picked up. So this is a really, really powerful one. So come up with a special term, you or your phrase, use it across your media, and use this phrase. You should get a page 1 listing. Okay, so your special key phrase, this is one that you're going to use all the time. All right, this is important. This is an important one that you get that locked in and that you're using it. All right, okay. Let's move on to number 14. So number 14, what are definitions? So with all the content, make sure you describe a definition. So either in the first paragraph or actually in its own box, do a definition of what the page is about. So for instance, if I was talking, again, I'm going to come back to ZBrush. So if I was doing a definition of ZBrush, I'd say it's a intuitive 3D modeling tool. ZBrush is a 3D intuitive modeling tool that allows you to physically make contact with your designs through a touch screen or a pen. So that could be a definition of what ZBrush is about. It's not a very good one, I must admit, but you get the idea. And then I could break. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry. Had my video flying off. Right, okay, so that is a really important thing. You can put that in a box. What definitions? Definitions are really good because most searches are looking for a definition. They're looking for a term. They're looking for a description of what it's about. Like this one, for instance, SEO. A lot of people, if they don't know what it means, will be like, SEO? What's that? I don't know. Search engine optimization. What's that all about? So it just means being more visible by applying certain techniques to get you higher in the organic ranking. We're talking about organic ranking is non-paid, so we're not actually just doing an advert on a page that's getting sponsored and put up the top. We're actually organically trying to drive traffic, and that's what all of this stuff's about. So definition, so make sure you include it, and I try and include it with everything I'm doing. Okay, now I do. This is, you know, you learn as you're going through things, you learn what you should be doing. And definitions are really important. So if you've got a subject and you've broken straight into the complexities of it, just define it. Just let people easily know what this is about, because that means that they will get into it quicker. And it's also a really good way, definitions are a really good way to give high impact and draw people in. So if you're just rambling about your subject, telling them, and I'm sure it's all really important information that you're giving them, but you dive straight into it, they'll be like, well, I don't understand this. If you've got a nice definition at the top and they found you, they'll be like, no, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So they're not going straight into the complexities of it. So it's really, really important, this one, and make sure that you're doing it. If you're not, do it. Okay, let's jump across to number 15, getting a featured snippet. So what is a featured snippet? A featured snippet is, you know, when you go on Google and you search for something, you get a little listing right at the top. This is a featured snippet. It's quite a big area. Google use that. And people, they don't just make it up. They're not usually sponsored. They're normally just because Google said this is really good information and it's to the point, defining what the subject is. We're going to put it in here to tell people straight away what that information is about. And usually people will click through on that first one. So getting a feature snippet is quite difficult, but you can optimize stuff to make sure that you get it. So creating a Q&A section, making sure you've got a definition. Make sure it has helpful tips in there. So the Q&A section or helpful tips. Bullet point are also really, really important. And sections. So make sure it's all sectioned. Again, this funnel that I'll send you into has got all that information. So getting a featured snippet is quite hard, but if you're doing it constantly, there might be a chance that you get that, and then you will have a massive influx of visitors. Again, it has a lot to do with how many people are coming and visiting their site and those sort of things. But don't be disheartened. You're following all these tips. You're definitely going to have a big jump. So you might be on page 40. If you did all these tips, you probably jump to at least page 10. Right, and that's a big jump, 30 pages, you know, up. Some of you might even jump into page 1 rankings. Now we do have training, and I show you a training techniques for YouTube that allow you to get a page 1 listing under a specific related keywords. So if you haven't done that, go to tutorials.newzenler.com, take the YouTube challenge, okay? Also at the same time, take Kevin's SEO, Basics SEO Bootcamp that he's just run. Fresh off the press, that one. So, but the YouTube one still works, and I actually did that. And as I was doing it, I show you, and I click refresh, and I've got a page 1 listing. Page 1 listing. So I prove it on the actual challenge itself. What more do you ask for? I guaranteed it to you, and I did it in there. And actually people that took part in that, a lot of them got the page 1 listing as well. So it works. Take that bootcamp, tutorials.newzenler.com, go on to the on-demand training, down to our YouTube challenge that I ran with the fabulous Alice. Okay, let's move on to tip number 16. So do a guest post and find sites. So I mentioned this earlier. So you should be looking to do anything that comes your way. So attend podcasts. Always, when you do any of these things, if you guest post for people, if you appear on lives as part of a conference or a summit, or you attend a podcast, you always want to make sure that you've got the sell on there. You've got people. Where do people go? How do people find out information? I mean, if you spend half an hour and you're talking about a subject, giving a lot of information, you're going to want something back, okay? You're going to want to say, right, okay, I'll do that for you, but I want to be mentioning this funnel that I brought out. And if the people turn around and say, no, you can't mention any of that, then it's very likely, well, I would say no, I wouldn't do it. I don't tend to attend these things often anyway, only if they're friends. But you guys, you want to be doing this. You want to be going on there and attending these things, but you want to make sure that you don't just finish it. Right, I finished my subject. And they go, thank you very much, David. See you later. And then people go, oh, this is great information, but I don't know where to go now. I want to find out more. I want to opt in here. And a lot of people do this. They forget to sell that thing. They forget to take people to what is called the next step. The next step, you always want people to go from one place and have somewhere else to go. It makes people feel secure. It makes people feel confident. It actually excites people that they've got a next step to take place. So you want to be doing that. You want to be selling what you're doing, especially if you're on guest posts. You can find lots of sites. Again, you might have done a blog and say, oh, do you want me to write a blog for your site? I think it'd be really good. Yep. Can you put a link? Can you make sure that the link is included back to my website? Yes, thank you. And there you go. You're on another site and you've got all their traffic looking at your post and then coming over to you. And also you can say, I was on this site, you know. So there's lots of pluses why you should do a guest post and find sites to put some of your stuff on. Okay, number 17, tags and hashtags. So when you're doing any pages in the SEO part in Zenler, you can put tags in. These tags so that search engine knows what your subject is about. These can be related tags, not one word. They can be 2-word, 3-word tags. And also in any social medias that you're doing, you should be using hashtags in there. Some social medias, it varies from social media to social media channel with the number of hashtags you use, but I think if you go to 3 to 5, pretty much all of the social sites will let you do that. So hashtags are really powerful. That's hashtags, whatever you want to call it, like Zenstream, and that will come up. And tags are just words separated by commas. They're called meta tags sometimes. You can put these into pages as well. Tags are really, really closely related to your main key related key phrases, and also your main key phrase. So they should definitely be included. Okay, especially your special key phrase that you could use as part of a hashtag. So make sure you're using those when you can. Use hashtags, but don't overuse them. Double check your search results on these, so you can let it go out a few days and just check the search results, see if it's coming up inside there. Definitely worth a double check to make sure your hashtags are appearing and they're right. And if they're in the wrong place because lots of content that's not associated with your channel comes up, then you might want to remove them, or you might want to change it. You might want to edit that post. Tip number 17. Let's go to tip number 18. So SEO preview, what they see. Okay, so this is a common one. So with Zenler, a lot of people don't bother doing the SEO, which I say you have to do on every single page, even private pages. And why? Because I've had people say, well, it's a private page, no one can see it, so why would I bother? Because it's good practice. It's just keeping things tidy, and repeating the exercise is not going to hurt. So make sure that on your SEO inside Zenler that you set that up. If you don't, and you post this to something like Facebook, you don't know what's going to be posted. It's going to be a default image and it will be default text, and you've got no control over it. And we're trying to get control over our pages. We're trying to, everything that you're putting out there, you want to have control over. I want people to see this and I want them to read that bit of text. That's what I want. I don't want them to make it up and take apart from there and apart from there, or that first paragraph isn't right. I want them to take that other second part paragraph because that's my impactful line. You know, so by controlling that and setting up the SEO preview, you get them to see exactly what you want them to see. And when I say them, I mean everybody that's looking at it. So use an impactful image to represent the page. Always double check and add a link to the preview. Okay, so definitely do this. This is another big one. 9, 10, 18. These are big ones. Okay. Okay, no questions come in. Good. Number 19. So SEO audit your site. So again, you can use speed tests. You can ping your site and just see how quick it is. It will tell you if your images are oversized or over bloated. So you can definitely check the page previews, which we mentioned earlier, and make sure your content is fresh and relevant, as we've already said. So just go through your pages. Don't need to do it every day, but you know, once every 3 months, definitely go and check all the pages, make sure everything's current, make sure all the links are working. They should all work. You should test that once a month. If you get anything from any of your students or leads saying this doesn't work, get on it straight away. Okay. So number 20, and we've finished. Stay up to date. Check for the latest trends regularly and implement these new ideas. Constantly relook at the metrics. Data is king. So guys, that brings us to the end of this. We're coming up to 45 minutes in, and this takes us to the end of this Zenstream. But it's really important that, especially with the Google Analytics, that you're seeing what's happening on your site. This is a key part of what's going on. So you need to make sure that you're looking and seeing which pages are getting the attention and thinking, why are they getting the attention? You want to see where all your audience is from. Now, why would you want to do all this stuff? Because, for instance, if you're going to run a Facebook ad campaign, you're going to want to know where most of your audience is coming from. Because that way you're going to say, right, well, most of my audience comes from the US. So I'm going to just run this campaign. I'm not going to target the world. I'm going to target the US. So you're maximizing the money that you've put into the Facebook ad into that actual country, and even down to the level of that state. Okay. So some states might be better. So you're actually just targeting down, and it's just making sure that you get more for your money. Again, you can put things like ages in there. So if you're doing things like podcasts, it tells you, like Spotify gives you a really nice graphic on the ages of people coming in there. So you can say, right, okay, well, 90% of my people are sort of 30 to 45. So when you do your ads, you can do it 30 to 45 because you've got some metric. You've got data to back up everything you're doing, and it's going to save you a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work every time. Maybe if you'd have targeted a different country, it might have been better, but who knows? But it gives you a starting point. And if you've got no idea, it's going to put you on the right track. So constantly re-looking at the metrics data is really, really important. So the final thought, by doing all this, you would generate more traffic, you'll have more leads, more sales conversions. So look, guys, just take it slow and just complete each of the steps, okay? And you'll be absolutely fine. And I have a link for you to take our funnel. So I'm going to just put our funnel link up, and this is what you've been working through. So let me just share my screenage. There we go. So this is the video guide. So it takes you through all of the stuff that we talked about. Put your name there. You're probably going to be a Zenler user. Okay. You're going to put that in there and click through, and you'll be taken through each of those tips in a video guide. So these are the 20 SEO tips inside here. So I'm going to put that into the chat, and you guys can register there and find out all about it and actually go through it. Okay, you'll get an email taking you to where it is when it's done. That's a poll. Let me do the right one. There we go, and we're finished. So we've got no comments in either YouTube or Facebook. Now, I know that this is the holiday season. It is September. Is it September? No, it's August. So it's quite quiet. It's always quiet for us at Zenler, running into September. But I know a lot of people will look at this and be interested in this on the replay. So, guys, you want to put comments down. You know, it's all this stuff I've said to you is pretty self-explanatory if you run through that funnel sequence. So you've got a funnel sequence. It's like a whole course. 20 videos in there. Okay, so you've got a lot of stuff that you can just pull out. You can work your way through this stuff really slowly, and you can get better results. You can get more leads, and you can get more sales. It's a fact. Okay, you just need to do it. So that's going to bring me to the end of this Zenstream, and all about getting more sales and leads. I hope you've enjoyed it, and remember that we try to bring you a Zenstream every week. Okay, I know we haven't been around for a couple of weeks, been quite busy, but we're also got Zen Fast Track as well, which is going to run on maybe Saturday at a different time. I'm trying different times out, and Zenstream will probably be a different time as well. So if you want to find out about Zenstream and Fast Track, Zen Fast Track is a way for you to ask questions if you're having problems with your site. Not technical problems, but actually problems creating something or knowing how something works. And you can ask in our extended Zen Track sessions, okay, Fast Track sessions. You'll find those all on YouTube. If you're on YouTube already, you just need to go down to live events and you just need to click subscribe to actually be able to comment, or you can go in there and you can subscribe. You get notification when we're live next week for either Zenstream or Zen Fast Track or both. On Facebook, you can go into our events, and inside the events you're going to find the Zenstream and the Fast Track, and you can just book your going. Again, you're going to receive a notification. You're not going to miss out on anything. Okay, now they're not going to be in there right away. They're going to be in there probably tomorrow or the day after. So next week's go in the day after, and that's it. So that is another Zenstream from us at Zenler. So guys, take care and have a great, if you're on holiday, which you probably are, then have a great holiday, and we'll see you when you get back. We're always here to help you, remember that. So our amazing Facebook group is where you can post questions, or on our YouTube channel, if you see a video and you want to ask a question, you can ask a question there, and we try and help you on both of those, our two main platforms. Although we have social media across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, you name it, we're on there. Our main places where we hang out, okay, with you guys, is mainly our Facebook group and our YouTube channel. So I'm always in the YouTube channel because I'm more of a YouTuber than a Facebook. Our Facebook are really good because the community really helps each other. But until next week, I shall see you very, very soon. Have a great weekend or holiday if you're away. I hope the weather's beautiful for you. And I'll see you next week, hopefully. Hopefully you're back from your holiday and ready to do a little bit of Zen work with us. See you later, guys.